everybody, welcome back to Dakota Does Dressage. If you're new here and this is your first time, hello, my name is Andrea, welcome. This is my attempt at sharing a new journey in my life with horses with my horse Dakota. So he is a 21-year-old paint horse gelding, and we just started doing Western dressage together about a year ago. But I think what's interesting is that for an older horse, not being ridden like every day and not being ridden by a trainer, I am seeing improvement in him. So I just want to share that journey with everybody. And I guess I'm pushing a message that you're never too old to learn something new, even if it's pertaining to a horse or a rider, because I've been riding most of my life and I've learned more in the past year than I ever have in decades of lessons and riding. So it's been a great experience. But with that, I want to jump into what this ride is all about. He's had some time off, and I really just wanted to check in with him and see how things were going. How was he feeling? It's early February when I did this ride, and I know we're not quite into spring yet. There's still quite a bit of cold weather and winter that we have to get through before we can really rely on some warmer temperatures and the grass coming in. So I just wanted to take it easy. I don't have a big plan for the ride in mind. I just wanted to feel out where he was at mentally and physically. We did a real nice long warm up at the walk, probably close to almost 20 minutes alone at the walk, where I was just asking him to do some slight leg yields, do the square exercise, go over the pull pattern that I have set up. That I did do a video that's from one of the 101 Western Dressage Exercises book. So I mentioned it in the video, that's something I think I'll always have set up in the arena just because it's a great warm-up exercise. I've heard over and over that the walk is the hardest gait to train, so I've been making myself do more at the walk. Number one, it's great, especially for a senior horse, to get them really nicely warmed up before you go into trot and canter. And number two, I think we all tend to get bored at the walk and want to skip over it and get right into trot and canter work. So I've been looking for ways to make the walking exercises more interesting for both me and for him too. So we're working on lengthening at the walk, collecting at the walk, trying some different speeds, doing some tighter turns around corners, letting him try to relax his neck down. And actually, by the end of this ride, he is giving me great reach through his neck down and out. Not enough swing through his body, to be sure, and he's not really overstriding at all with his hind legs, but he's picking up on the idea that he needs to follow the bit pressure down and out with his nose. So the strategy part of Western dressage is something that has really drawn me in, and I've been looking at my score sheets, seeing where I can really get the most bang for my buck for my workouts with him points wise, meaning if I skip over the walk work and I'm only focusing on our trot work because we're at the intro level and it's just walk and trot, there's no cantering, I can get the most points back in the walking parts because there's coefficients with the walk. That's telling me I really need to spend more time at this gait, perfecting it, or at least trying to improve it as much as I possibly can, even more so than the trot work in the test. So that's just a quick tip if you're getting started and you're thinking, my scores might be kind of lower than I'm expecting and I'm not sure why. Really look hard at how you're being scored in the walking parts of your test. If those tend to be your lower scores, that's probably where you should be spending more of your time in order to raise your score. So here we go up into a bit of trot work, and I wanted him to just go out on a loose rein. I've been trying to ride him with more contact and get him to accept the bit contact, and I think he's done well with it. But also, I've noticed that he really wants to lean on my hands now. He's expecting my hands to be there to hold up his front end. Not that he's ever been a great horse to trot around on a loose rein as far as his self-carriage goes, but I actually feel like it's deteriorated a little bit just since I've been trying to get him to come onto the bit more and accept more of that pressure in his mouth, more of the contact. So I feel like he's taking advantage of that, expecting my hands to really overly support him in carrying himself. So riding him around on this loose rein, I'm not worried about, the frame that he's in, where his head is. I really just want him to keep his body straight. So he tends to veer off to the inside, or fall to the inside, I guess, on some of the parts of the circle. So I'm correcting him and just putting him back out on the rail, and I really just want him to basically stay straight and follow the rail around the arena. So another observation from this ride is Dakota just felt a little tired today. Didn't feel like there was a lot in the tank to work with. I don't know if that's just because they haven't had grass to graze on all winter and he's really dipping into those ample fat stores he put on right before winter. But he just didn't seem to have energy today, which was not terrible. Like, that's okay. I know that's going to return in the spring when the grass comes back in and the weather warms up. All the horses are going to get, a little bit more forward, which used to frighten me, but now I'm actually looking forward to it for a change. So I didn't want to really get after him and push him and overwork him, especially since he had had time off. I was just, again, kind of taking him for what he was that day and seeing what I could work on that would make sense. So here I'm doing some sitting trot. Being able to watch myself ride on video has been so helpful. I can tell when I'm on my horse now when I feel like, okay, I'm not in a good position with my leg. I need to get my leg further back, or I need to open up my hips more, or I'm starting to round my shoulders. I need to pull my shoulders back more. I need to engage my abdominal muscles. Like, I'm starting to really connect with my body when I ride and catch myself when I'm getting out of position. So I really suggest, if you don't have mirrors or you don't have an instructor, I don't have an instructor at this point in time, be your own instructor. Take a video of yourself and critique yourself after your rides. And over time, you'll start to make that connection with your physical body as you're riding. Yeah, so here Dakota's really struggling to accept the bit. His head's starting to get all over the place, and probably need to even maybe shorten my rein a little bit and ask for more forward motion so he can pick up his shoulders. So here's where I start to do these bending exercises, thinking maybe that's going to help him get a little more supple and get off of the bit, because he's starting to lean onto my hands. And there, I give a big smile because I couldn't believe that he turned the corner that tight. I felt like that was really asking a lot of him, and I thought this could be a big train wreck, but he actually made that really tight turn at the trot pretty nicely. He didn't break gait at all, and he maintained his frame and his rhythm. So here I'm starting to tighten up my reins a little bit. I'm trying to get him to go more forward, and I'm thinking about posting a little bit higher, because when I post shallower, I am posting faster, and I'm not necessarily wanting him to trot faster, but I want him to lengthen his gait. So I'm messing around with, okay, what if I trot a little slower and higher versus shallower and faster? Okay, so at this point, a friend came into the arena to lunge her horse before she left for a trail ride around the hayfield, and we just stayed up on this end of the arena, and I practiced asking Dakota to drop his neck. And oh my goodness, compared to my tests back in the summer, no one could make a comment that his head and neck are not low enough. That was a comment I was getting on some tests, like, could drop his head and neck even further down. I think this is as low as I'd probably want them to get. I don't want him dragging his nose in the footing. But I was really happy with him taking the opportunity to stretch his neck down. But I need to work on getting him to swing through his body and track up with his hind legs. Okay, I ended our arena work with some canter transitions. I've barely cantered him all year because I've been so focused on our walk and trot work. I just really took a break from even trying to canter. So it's really rough. We've got a long way to go. If we ever even do basic level, I don't know. That's going to depend on him, his soundness, how fit he's going to be. I don't want to force him to lope if for some reason he wouldn't be sound enough to lope. So we're taking it really easy here. So really all I'm wanting to achieve here is just getting him into a canter without hollowing over his back, which he is terrible about doing. He's like the king of the giraffe stance, right? Where he sticks his head way up in the air and his nose way out. That's been a huge issue for us at the lope. So here towards the end, he does a little better in those transitions. He does have a very nice rocking chair style lope. It's very comfortable to ride, but I've noticed this direction, he really leans to the inside. I mean, it is bad. And I think to the point where I'm going to have to find some special exercises to do just at the lope to combat this. So maybe some spiraling in, spiraling out. I'll have to go back to my 101 Western Dressage Exercises book to find an exercise for us. So I went back to this other direction just to end the ride because he just seemed a little bit stiffer this way, and I get a really, really nice, soft, but forward transition. Didn't hollow through his top line on it, and there I let him quit. Big reward, big rub on the neck, and decided that I was going to end our whole ride with a lap around the hayfield. I want to thank you so much for watching if you've stuck around this long. Thanks for being on this journey with us. You can follow me on Instagram at Dakota Does Dressage as well as Facebook. And yeah, we'll see you in the next one. Bye.